Well, I don't know if you can hear, but up on the terrace over there, I'm rehearsing here, by the way, in this drawing room, which is my mother's old drawing room, in an old mansion which belonged to the Padamsee family, and where the theatre group of Bombay was born about 50 years ago. So we've been producing mainly plays in English, occasionally in Hindi, Gujarati, but principally in English. Written in the beginning, of course, we did Shakespeare and we did Shaw and we did Ibsen. And then gradually today, I'm happy to say that in the 80s, there is a school of Indian playwriting that's grown up. And it's fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating. The play I'm doing just now is called Final Solutions. And it's a very powerful play. It's about the communal problem in India. And you know, Bombay, which is where I live and where this play is being rehearsed, underwent severe riots earlier this year. And in a way, this play makes us all rethink what were the riots really about. They were about prejudice. Where does prejudice exist? Does it exist in religion? Does it exist outside ourselves? Or does it exist inside ourselves? And this is what this play is about. It is a play about the prejudice of Hindus against Muslims and vice versa. It's a play about the prejudice of the old against the young and the young against the old. It's a family play. It's a play about prejudice against friends. So you don't know where to draw the line. You know, human beings, immediately they're born, they're different. Immediately they're different, there's a sense of they are strangers, let's not mix with them. And within families, the worst, if you like, communal, within quotes, problems exist. You've heard of it, brother against brother, you know. All the big business families in India are breaking up. And as soon as the patriarchal father dies out, he dies, and suddenly the sons are at each other's throats, grabbing for the money, grabbing for this. I think one of the big problems in the world today is that we, because of materialism, we have a grab society. Everyone wants to grab, you know?
Right.
Some people say that the riots in Bombay were caused by, in fact, the builders who wanted to grab land, were caused by the slum lords. You know, like landlords, we have slum lords, and they wanted to grab the land. And one of the most vulnerable communities was the minority community. So easy on the back of, oh, they are different, they have another religion, to push them out. Who knows who's next?
That's right.
You never know, because once people get greedy, what happened to the Jews in Germany? There were a few rich Jews.
Right.
But Hitler said all Jews are rich, all Jews have the money. So they became attached to that stigma.
Okay.
And talking about stigma, we know as Indians in New Jersey, they call them dot busters.
That's right.
And they come and beat up mainly Gujarati women who are wearing the bindi.
Bindis. Right. You're talking of your now you've been obsessed with this, shall we say, taken away with this communalism that's been driving around, and which is why you're doing this play. But how
No, I want to correct a mistaken impression. This play was commissioned by me a year and a half ago, long before the Bombay riots. I got obsessed with, if you like, peacekeeping during the riots. Until that time, I was a kind of a bystander. Riots happened in Moradabad, riots happened in Delhi, riots happened here. I was a bit remote from it. When it suddenly happened in our backyard, I got very involved, and I'm on several peace committees, and we're setting up all sorts of interesting infrastructures in Bombay where citizens take charge. I've just come from a police citizens meeting where we were saying farewell to Mr. Samra, our police commissioner, who brought back law and order to Bombay.
Right.
And we're getting a new police commissioner, Mr. Sani. And we were all discussing at a public meeting, what is law and order? If it doesn't exist here, it certainly won't exist here. So first you build a bridge in the heart, then you will get a bridge in the mind. The mindset will change.
Yeah, but how did you get involved into this? You said your mother was there, and the whole theatre was there.
I have been involved in the theatre basically because my brother, my elder brother, Alyque Padamsee, started the theatre group 50 years ago. He was 10 years older to me. So consequently, when I was growing up in this very house, behind that door, in fact behind that very door behind the camera, I used to peep through the skylight up there, which you can see, and my brother when I was 10, he was 20, was rehearsing Shakespeare. He was doing Macbeth. And I could hear the clash of swords, and we could hear all this marvelous Shakespearean dialogue, you know. It was fantastic, you know. I remember growing up to life's but a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage and then is heard no more.
That's right.
Marvelous things like that. And so I got influenced in the theatre. But my theatre has always been, if you like, socially committed. Even when I did Evita, which was a big smash hit which ran for years and years, it was not just about Evita of Argentina. It was about a woman in power. And my Evita was really about Mrs. Indira Gandhi. And therefore the production was slanted towards that. Now take this play, Final Solutions. Why is it named Final Solutions? It's based on Hitler's great idea of the final solution for the Jews was to exterminate. This is final solutions question mark. Are these final solutions? Is communal hatred a final solution, or does it lead to other problems which then require other solutions? And certainly Punjab has taught us all that there's no solution at all.
But what was your first play where you acted, and what was the first one which you directed?
The first play I actually directed and acted in was a play called The Killers. It was a one-act play by Ernest Hemingway. I personally had adapted it from a short story by Ernest Hemingway. And I did it in St. Xavier's College, where I was educated. And after that, the theatre bug caught such a strong hold on me that I went to London and I studied at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts. And so I've always, in a sense, been involved in theatre. Then I thought I'd come back to India and start a theatre company, you know, and make money. Rubbish and nonsense. You can earn money as an actor only in the cinema in India, and now recently in television. But in theatre, forget it. You'll be a beggar all your life. So from there, I looked around for a creative profession. Someone told me, look, advertising, you make films, you write words, you draw pictures, it's very creative, and they pay you very well. So I went into advertising. And I've been in advertising for about 3 decades now. I'm known in India, in a sense, as a kind of Mr. Advertising, but I prefer to be known as Mr. Theatre, if anything at all.
Okay, looking at your oeuvre, the work what we've done in theatre, what do you think are the highlights in that? You have Evita, you have Final Solutions now, but in between them, like?
Well, let me say that there are many. I mean, you know, it's difficult. The play you're doing now is the woman you're in love with, you know. It's a passionate affair